What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Flying Brown's Garage. So, in tonight's, whatever you want to call it, video, if y'all have been previously watching the channel, y'all know about the beast, and I've been on the trails and all that stuff. Well, the last ride I went on, I decided I wasn't going to film it, because we've been riding quite a bit of ride videos. I didn't want to overwhelm y'all with ride videos. So me and Mike decided to just cruise. That way he could run his radio, and of course I don't have to worry about copyright or any of that crap. This thing started running like absolute shit, and I was pretty sure it was a misfire from over here, and I was right. It is a misfire from this cylinder over here. I am pretty sure I have bad head gasket. Seems to be a little too much crankcase pressure, and I do believe it's because of the head gasket is, well, I would show you all the other side, but it's over there. I've got the other side tore down already. At least I got the valve cover off, but there is a spot in there where the valve or the head gasket seats, like in the middle of here, and then your rods go through. Well, that spot right in there is blown out, so it's blowing compression out the side and into the valve cover and back into the crankcase. I've got good compression on this side because we already did a compression test, or I already did, because I've done quite a few things to this. I took the carburetor apart, changed out some seals and cleaned it, changed out a couple of the fuel lines, and changed out a fuel filter. We fixed our rack that kept bending up and down. A couple other things I did to this: cleaned the flywheel, cleaned the coils, changed out the spark plugs. Like I said, did compression test. But as of now, all this has to come apart. Every single bit of it. I'm debating if I'm going to take this head off or not, or just leave it and only do the one. All I know is it's probably gonna come in a kit, and I could probably just replace both. I don't see why not. If I'm gonna do a head gasket, I might as well do both. So I guess in this video what we're going to be doing is tearing this down, getting some head gaskets, and reinstalling. So this ought to be a fun one, guys. The exhausts have to be undone from the heads, and a whole bunch of good stuff. So we're going to go ahead and dig into this, and we'll put y'all on a tripod, and we're going to start tearing this engine down and see what we can figure out. Also, before I put y'all on the stand, we are going to clean this up while we got it apart. So we'll go ahead and, clean the top pistons, clean the back of the head, get all the carbon out. I also believe I may get some valve lapping compound and lap the valves in there too, just to make sure that everything's good to go. So we'll start tearing into this thing. Alright folks, well, I got to thinking, I was actually wanting to do an engine swap, because I was considering what the hell this thing would be with a 30 horse on it. It's a 22 now. So I considered coming over here and looking at our propane powered. What I was thinking about doing is taking my valve covers on it, put my top cover on it, and leave the oil filter, oil cooler, and use the aluminum intake with my carburetor instead of the propane carburetor, and run this on the beast. And while it would fit, what I would need to do is, not only would I need to do a whole bunch of modifications to get it in here, because the oil cooler actually comes out. This is about 2 inches from the block, and you see how close it is to the exhaust. Well, this one over here is about 4 inches from the block, because you see it has that added spot back here for the oil cooler lines to go on. Now, while I could switch that with that, so I could take that setup off of there, which is just the filter, and then swap it with this filter and this setup, and what it would do essentially is it would suck the filter in, and that would work. And I could put my valve covers on, I could put my top cover on, I could put my carburetor on to that intake and have everything nice and dressed up. But here's the problem. Whoever had this race mower before, the Murray of course, camera clear up, so whoever had that before, they decided that it would be a good idea to just weld the pulley to the bottom of the shaft. Yeah. So it's been pulley swapped, and the pulley is welded to the bottom of the shaft completely. There's no bolts in it, there's no nothing. I cannot get that off. So I got to measure, and I was like, okay, well, how far is it from the bottom of the block? Well, this is about 3 1/4, while the one on the Beast is about 2 1/16 from the bottom of the block. So therefore, either I would have to take and cut this pulley off and readjust it on the shaft. I don't want to mess with that shaft. I don't like cutting on the shaft. That kind of makes me nervous. I could cut it off and bring it up and re-weld it, but I don't want to do that. And the only other option would be to take and redo the whole pulley system across. Now that would be beneficial, because actually I could just do a lift on the engine, but then that would throw everything out of whack, because then I'd have to redo the exhaust and their mounts, because they're welded in and they wouldn't line up anymore. If I did the engine all the way down on the chassis like it's supposed to be, it would put the pulley lower. So that means I'd have to redo all the pulleys under the machine. Not only that, I have to come back and put a lift on the machine and bring the back up more, which would be awesome. But it's level right now, and I don't want it sitting at a rake. I don't want it squatting. That's just too much work just to put an engine on. So I think what I'm going to do is, instead of doing an engine swap or anything like that, because I had considered putting this one on there, then I considered putting the V-twin on it. And I don't think I'm going to do any of that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to reassemble this engine the way it is. I'm going to ship it out the door, and we are going to wait on this project and just let it sit And then when I get some gaskets ordered, I get them in. We'll come back to this video. We'll bring this thing back in the shop. We'll tear it back down. We'll go ahead and tear the heads off, clean the back of the heads, clean the surface inside of the cylinders, make sure everything's good. We'll go ahead and take some valve lapping compound, lap our valves, maybe part and polish, I don't know. And just all in all, make this thing good, sealed, and running properly, and then we'll take it out and test it out. So I don't know how long it's going to be before I'm back. Could be a week, could be a month. I don't know how long this thing is going to sit. Hope it's not too long. But I will see you guys back when I get some gaskets and we get this thing back in the shop and get back to work on it. Y'all be sure to go like the videos. YouTube likes that. Comment down below. YouTube likes that. We're still trying to get to 1,000 subscribers to get monetized. So if you're not subscribed yet, be sure to hit that subscription button and hit the all notifications bell. That way you're notified every time we put out a new video, which is at least once a week at this point. Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram. The only one that's different is these Snapchats and Avatar. The rest of them are the same profile picture as the YouTube channel. So you can go to those platforms, type in Flying Brown's Garage in the search engines. You should find me, and we post different content to those as a sneak peek to what is coming. Also, be sure, if you want to, come join us on Facebook at Flying Brown's Garage Mud and Race Mowers. We have a group where we're trying to build like-minded folk to come around and share your builds, share your ideas, and maybe even plan a get-together ride or something. So y'all be sure to check out all those things and stay tuned for the newer videos. If y'all want to check out some of the older videos, we got a bunch of stuff back there in playlists. So if you're feeling a little like a little Flying Brown's Garage mood, y'all can go back, watch a bunch of old videos, and stay tuned for the newer ones. And let's go ahead and get back into the shenanigans of the video. Alright folks, well it has maybe been a week, and got a gasket kit here. So, we got this back up on the lift. I kind of started tearing off some stuff last night. I'm going to continue to tear this thing apart today, and then we will start doing head gasket job. Alright folks, we've got the engine tore down. There's the top of our piston. All that good stuff on the number 1 cylinder. Number 2 cylinder is in about the same condition, but all in all looks pretty good. So what we're going to do, so I do believe we're about to clean all this up, and then I have a different set of heads for this with a little bit bigger valves, so some high performance heads. I think we're going to put some high performance heads on it along with the new gasket kit. So I'm going to start on this side, start cleaning up, and get the face of this block and the pistons clean. Alright, so we have this thing, had it stripped down, putting the new heads on as we speak. Got one already seated. I'm going to find the right torque spec and torque it in. Here's the other side. It's all cleaned up. Actually looks really good. Both sides were in really good shape. The other head is here. Got the back sides cleaned up. Made sure the valves were seated fairly well. Cleaned up fairly nice. But I'm going to go ahead and put y'all on the stand and put this on a time lapse, and we're going to start reassembling the heads and everything. Alright, we got the heads on and torqued down. Torque spec on these are 25 foot-pounds. Went ahead, of course we had labeled our rockers and rods and all that good stuff, so everything's back in the right place with our new heads. Figured out that these heads are not a high performance head. They're the same head. So, but they're in better shape, so that's what matters. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and do the exhaust gaskets off camera, because both heads have rockers, rods, valves, and spark plug in it, and gaskets, and everything's torqued down. So I'm going to bounce to the exhaust gaskets and get those done on both sides, and once those are done I can go ahead and start dressing up the front end of this engine and getting towards being done with it. And maybe we can even take it for a ride if I hurry up, but I don't want to rush it. So let's continue on. Alright, we got our exhaust mounted back up. We also went ahead and put on our valve covers. All that's done. At this point I'm going to go ahead and start mounting up our carburetor, getting it in place with the throttle plate, which I have to modify it a little bit, but yeah, let's get our carburetor in place, and yeah. Alright, we have our engine fully assembled except for the top cover and that stuff. As you see, newer heads, new head gaskets, everything's been cleaned and gapped, all new carburetor gaskets, valve cover gaskets, exhaust gaskets. There should be no leaks. Everything's been torqued to spec and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and see if it'll run and see how it runs. And we may do a compression test. Disconnect the battery charger. Let's get our key out. We should have enough fuel. So what we're going to do is choke it and then try to start it. It might help if it's not in here. Try that again. Maybe it don't have enough idle. Adjust our idle a little bit. It is smoking, but I think it's just burning off stuff. Seems to be running good. Darn you. Well, it runs. Just having a little issue idling properly. Maybe just need to get out and run it. But it's alive again. Both cylinders are firing again, so that's good. I gotta air this out before I die. Well, folks, I do believe we have a successful top end rebuild. She's ready to go and runs really good except for the idle part, but I'm thinking maybe I can get that to do its thing once I run it. Thinking that carburetor's a little gunky, but it's alright. I'm thinking get it out there and run it some, and maybe it'll kind of just break free. If not, I'll run some crap through the gas tank that'll clean it up. Otherwise, it runs really good. I think it's going to do just fine. And we've got the back tires aired up and the rack back on it. Top cover and everything's buttoned down under the hood, and the hood is down. Everything's ready to go. If it wasn't dark out right now and this thing wasn't loud as hell, we would probably go take it for a test ride, but it's obnoxious. So I think I pissed them off enough revving it in here in the shop. So I'm going to call it a night on this video, and I will see you back out here again tomorrow on this unit, where we will definitely take it around the yard. And I'm hoping Mike wants to go out for a ride, because he just did some stuff to John Man, and I'm sure he wants to test it out. So maybe we can arrange a ride tomorrow and take this thing out in the woods and see what it'll do. So with that being said, I will see you guys tomorrow, where we will hopefully get this thing broke in just right. Alright folks, it is the next day, and the beast is back out in her natural habitat, his natural habitat, whatever you want to call it. I'm so used to calling all my machines a her, but you would think a beast would be a he. So he's back out here. Let's jump on this unit, see if we can get her to fire up. back. I think I'm going to need to idle it down. It's too high. Idle is a bit too high. Otherwise, she's running really good. That's it. Oh yeah. He's back. Oh yeah, I'm happy. He's just sitting there running like a phone machine. Both exhausts are getting heat, same amount. Sounds like we have us a revived engine. I think Marshall approves. You approve of this? Huh? Is this good shit? Huh? Look at that face. Yeah, that's good shit. Oh, I know. It's good stuff. That's real good stuff. Look at that unit, guys. The Beast is back in action. I love it. Alright, folks. We are on the Beast and out at Mike's. So we're about to fire this thing up and hit the trails. Doing well. Except for my turning radius I lost. Kinda sucks, but I guess it's good. I like the bigger tires, but the turning radius is kind of a give and take. Yeah, it is. What were you asking me? Oh, yeah. No. I don't know if I'm going to try that with this. I don't think the belt's strong enough yet. Right? Yeah. Yeah, I might find something to stuff under these real quick and then we'll be back. Alright, we got some logs under the wheels. Let's see if we can make a second attempt at this. Damn, there's one go. I tried! I think I dug it out. It wouldn't surprise me. Right after I said it does well. The belt's slipping. Looks like the belt came off. Let's see. Yup. Yup, 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 yup. Yep, it came off. Well, let's put her back on. That's it. I'm just glad I didn't break a tail light.
That was honestly, I wasn't even worried about these. I was worried about these. That much.
Yeah. It didn't come close to that.
Yeah.
Yes, sir? I don't know. I may try to go crawl over there. Yeah, I'll see. I'll see. Maybe now. Yeah. Woo. She's very capable.
Yeah.
Good God, Jesus. This thing is an animal. When it's got a damn good belt on it, dude, it climbed Mount Everest.
I did not think you were going to make it over there.
Dude, I did.
You had the tip of it right in the middle. You were like the tile on the top of it.
I know. I might do it again. Fuck it. Just so y'all see it. Oh, damn. Yeah, there's just a little ground clearance missing there. This is too much fun. I'm a little flat. Trying to get the front end to go that way. They don't want to. Try to go through there. I know, I have to go around the stump. Yeah.
You want to pick up the front end and flip it over? Are you trying to take my trail?
Yeah, I was. And then when
kind of tricky, you gotta come across and then turn right there. Otherwise that happens. Let's just get back here, buddy.
Yeah. Of course I do. I'm just gonna have to.
Either that or come across back all the way out and then come across.
I can feel it. Yeah, I know. I see it.
Yeah. No. What? Damn it. I don't see the belt.
It's off.
It sure is. Oh well. No, that's your damn steering.
Let me get under there and throw it on real quick. I know it's off. Yeah, it's off the transaxle.
What kind of poo is that?
A lot of it.
You want me to get John Man back around here and point the front lights of this thing?
Ow! Oh, fuck. That hose is hot.
Ooh. There. Let this thing cool off. I'm going to pull John Man around and I'll come up this way and point the lights this way so you can see what's going on.
Yeah.
Dude, if those two lights on the back of John, man, don't do anything other than make it easier for us to film in the dark, I am perfectly okay with that.
Yeah.
This is definitely some substantial lighting. I can imagine. It's probably a whole lot better than laying what's up underneath this thing, though. Get her? Don't need to hit the brake. That's it. So I came up, I won't call it ingenious, but I came up with a pretty good idea for keeping sticks from popping belts off. We need to make plates that go across the bottom of these, run bolts in it to where we basically just take the plate and stick it on there and then put the pins in case something pops.
Yep.
Easy removability, whatnot.
Yep.
Now apparently I'm the only one that does that.
Yeah, for now. No, I originated. Remember?
Yeah,
I almost got hit by a truck. I originated it.
Yeah.
My backup light would work right now, but it's not. something wrong with the switch, maybe. No, it's not the light, it's the switch. Yeah, it's a switch.
I've got a couple of junk bills up there. Unless you want one of them blue with the blue bracket switch on top.
I don't know, maybe.
I got one more of these, but it's a different color than that stuff. Little jet lights I still got to do.
I'm not really too concerned about it right now, because I don't even think my... Yeah, my fucking... Oh, there it goes. Huh?
That was your hit, just the switch?
Yeah. Yep. Yes, sir? Go ahead and call it. I might go ahead and call it a night on this. It's 7 o'clock. I don't want to piss everybody off and they will just drive back. I know, but are you riding it around your backyard for an hour? No. No. Try to be courteous. Huh? Yeah, sure, fuck it. folks. I know it's hard to see my face, but we made it home with the beast, and Marshall is sniffing it. It did well. Let's go over it real quick. Watch out, Marshall. What you sniffing, boy? What you sniffing? Alright, so everything looks good gasket wise on this side. Let's check the other side and see how it's looking. Oh yeah. No leaks, no nothing. No valve cover leaks. Everything looks good. It's really good, actually. Are you good, Marshall? Are you good? Watch out, boy. Now, he's sniffing hard. He smells something. He is detecting. See this side. Yep, no valve cover leaks. I'd say it's doing excellent. So, we got her fixed. Head gaskets of the day, and she is back on the trails. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go down there and leave us a like down below. Be sure to comment. Got any questions or anything, I'll try to reply. Also, go follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. It's always different stuff there. And we usually post different content, like I just said. Yeah, shop updates, stuff like that. And Flying Brian's Garage, Mud and Race Mowers on Facebook. Come join the group and share your builds and ideas. Stay tuned for the newer videos, and the best way to do that is to hit that all notification bell. That way you're notified every time we put out a new video, which is once or twice a week, if you're lucky, twice. But like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Go down there and leave a like, and I will see you guys on the next episode where we will be doing God knows what, but it should be good. So, see you then.